refer the case. The ICC also, as far as I know, cannot just go into a country like that without the country exhausting all the legal requirements. But all the cases, as far as I know, that are currently under the, at the ICC, referring to Africa, were referred to the ICC by African governments. And then we turn around and say the ICC is racist. Well, they're following only Africans. If only Africans refer cases, if you don't want the ICC to treat cases, let us not refer cases to the ICC, period.
So you do not agree with the notion that the ICC targets Africans because it's not actually the Africans themselves have chosen to?
No, I do not agree, and I will never agree to it, because at some point in time, there was a move by some African leaders to endorse the arrest warrant, the indictment and the arrest warrant against El-Bashir in Sirte. And I made it very clear that if you have a problem, it is very shameful that we Africans, when we have a problem among ourselves, instead of being brave and put it before the AU and solve it, you want to use international institutions to solve our problem. If you have a problem with Bashir, deal with Bashir. But this AU is not going to endorse the arrest warrant.
So you must be very proud with what my sister and the lady, Mrs. Fatou Bensouda, is doing at the ICC.
She's an international civil servant. I'm proud not because she is a Gambian. I'm proud because she is an African woman. This was a post that, the referendum is not meant for Africans to head. But today, if Africans head an institution, I think you should work with the institution, especially an institution where we contribute a great deal to have it created. Do you understand? Whether it's the Gambian who is there or not, if they go on out of their way without being requested, they go out of their way to target Africans, I will be forced to tell them to kick them out of Africa. But these are cases that we reported. The case of Kenya was reported, and I told them in Addis when they were trying to make noise, I said, look, I think the best thing we should do is work out a mechanism with the ICC to say, okay, now that there's a new government and the leadership is elected, I think let's find a way of allowing the case to be treated by the government of Kenya. I think it would have been more honorable to negotiate than just throw wild accusations. I'm not defending the ICC, but I'm defending the truth. The truth is, Joseph Kony, whatever case I know of that is before the ICC, these are cases referred to by African presidents, except that of Bashir of Sudan.
Thank you for making that very clear, sir. And coming to the Gambia, I'm so proud that I've actually come to this country, and what I've seen so far really is very impressive. It's the first time I've been here.
Despite what you heard.
Despite, exactly, when you see it firsthand, you know, and I've got a lot of friends that are Gambian, and they've seen the transformation that has happened in the past decade or so, and it's very impressive. I was just discussing with one of my colleagues about, you know, just a few years ago there was no university, you know, there was no television station, so there's a lot that has happened within the short period that you have been the president.
You say a few years ago there was no university.
Am I right? Probably.
Okay. That is part of the answers to the reason why we left the Commonwealth.
Yes.
The British were here for 400 years. They never built a high school.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
No high school.
For 400 years, no high school. Then 30 years of so-called independence, no university, no high school. Also, the government of the day never built a high school for 30 years. Never built a single hospital. Do you understand? So, even the British built only one high school in 400 years, and that is called Armitage High School. And that was built for the children of traditional rulers in order to appease them. No, it was not open to everybody. It was meant for the children of traditional rulers. That was the only school they built in 400 years of occupation. So, how many years would it have taken us for us to have a college, then the university? Maybe 1 billion years. So, how do you expect us to continue to follow something that is always kicking us backwards? Yes.
Exactly. No, that point is really, I'm so glad that you have actually explained to our readers why this decision was taken, and I think it's something that the readers will be the judge on this one. But the Gambia now, as it is, there's always, you've just been to the UN, and the press that came out of your speech at the UN, as usual, expectedly, for some of us who are in the media, we expect the media to react that way. But what do we see in the next, maybe if we look ahead, next 5 years towards the end of this term and probably in the future, because you've done quite a lot in the short period that we have been in power. And despite all this backlash that is coming and the positive story not being told, if my mother, who lives in a small village in Malawi, wanted to read about the Gambia, what can I tell her and what can I say to expect? Because the Pan-African dream is about telling the story of how Africa is actually doing, whether be in the Gambia, whether be in Zambia, South Africa. What do we see in the Gambia in the next 5 years?
5 years is a long period of time. In the Gambia, you see changes, positive changes every 3 months. So I will tell you that if you come to the Gambia in 1 year from now, you will see something different. You will see more advancement. In the next 5 years, we want Gambia to emerge as one of the leading economies in the third world, not only in Africa. But in 5 years from now, we want to see a Gambia where maybe 1% of illiteracy. The literacy rate should not go beyond 1%. We want to make sure that 5 years from now, we want to make sure that there will be no referral of medical cases to any other country except in extreme conditions. 5 years from now, we want to, you come to the Gambia, you want any student you see going to any institution, be it university or what, has free education. That is what you